In the vast, unforgiving expanse of the Kipchak steppe, a storm was brewing, not of sand and wind, but of fate and fortune. A young boy, with eyes that held the fire of a future king, was torn from his home, sold into the brutal world of slavery. Little did anyone know, this was not the end of his story, but the beginning of a legend. This boy, destined for chains, would rise to wear a crown. His name was Baybars. Transported to the heart of the Islamic world, a place of dazzling wealth and deadly intrigue, young Baybars found himself in the slave markets of Syria. He was tall, strong, with a piercing gaze that unsettled many. A cataract in one of his blue eyes made him an undesirable purchase for most. But one man, an emir of the Ayyubid Sultan, saw past the imperfection. He saw a flicker of the lion, the panther, that Baybars would become. He was purchased, not for servitude, but for war. He was to become a Mamluk. The Mamluks were the ultimate military elite. Slave soldiers, trained from boyhood in the arts of combat, horsemanship, and strategy. For Baybars, this harsh new life was a forge. Every swing of the sword, every thundering gallop across the training grounds, sharpened him. He wasn't just learning to fight, he was learning to lead, to command, to outthink his opponents. His natural talent was undeniable, his ambition, limitless. He quickly rose through the ranks, his name whispered with a mixture of awe and fear among his peers. But the world outside their barracks was descending into chaos. From the east, a shadow was falling across the land. The Mongol horde, an unstoppable force of nature that had crushed empires and razed cities, was riding towards the heart of the Muslim world. Led by Hulagu Khan, a grandson of the great Genghis Khan, they had sacked Baghdad, the glorious capital of the Abbasid Caliphate, leaving it a smoldering ruin. Their relentless march seemed destined to swallow everything. Egypt was next. In this moment of ultimate crisis, the Mamluks seized power. The Ayyubid dynasty crumbled, and a new era began. The Mamluk Sultanate was born, and its first great test was at hand. Sultan Qutuz, the new ruler, knew that to face the Mongols he needed his most brilliant, most ferocious commander at his side. He needed Baybars. The two armies met in a valley in Galilee, a place called Ayn Jalut, the spring of Goliath. It was here that David had slain the giant, and it was here that another legendary battle would unfold. The Mongols, who had never known a major defeat in open battle, were supremely confident, but Baybars had a plan. He understood their tactics, their ferocity, and their arrogance. He would use their own strength against them. Baybars led a smaller vanguard force to engage the Mongol army, a daring and seemingly reckless move. The Mongols, seeing what they believed to be the entire Mamluk army, charged forward, eager for a quick victory. Baybars and his men fought with incredible courage, then executed a feigned retreat, a tactic perfected by the steppe warriors themselves. They drew the charging Mongol cavalry deeper and deeper into the valley. It was a masterful, deadly trap. As the Mongols pursued, confident they were on the verge of crushing their enemy, Sultan Qutuz sprung the ambush. From the hillsides, the main Mamluk forces emerged, thundering down to encircle the invaders. The valley became a cauldron of chaos and steel. The Mongols, caught completely by surprise, fought with their typical ferocity, but for the first time, they were outmaneuvered. Baybars was everywhere, a whirlwind of death and destruction, his personal banner a rallying point for his men. He fought like a man possessed, his leadership turning the tide. The myth of Mongol invincibility was shattered. Ayn Jalut was a victory that echoed across the world. The Mamluks had done the impossible. They had stopped the unstoppable. However, the taste of victory was short-lived. The alliance between Sultan Qutuz and Baybars was one of necessity, not trust. Baybars, the hero of the hour, felt he was denied his rightful reward. The tension erupted on the journey back to Cairo. In a swift, dramatic turn of events, Sultan Qutuz was assassinated, and the man who held the bloody sword was Baybars. The army that had just hailed him as a hero now proclaimed him Sultan. The slave boy from the steppes had reached the pinnacle of power. Sultan Al-Zahir Baybars of Bandukdari. His titles were as grand as his ambition. As ruler, he proved to be as brilliant a statesman as he was a warrior. He knew that the victory at Ayn Jalut was just a beginning. The Crusaders still clung to their coastal strongholds, remnants of a century of conflict. Baybars was determined to drive them from the land for good. He unleashed a series of relentless campaigns against the Crusader states. One by one, their legendary fortresses fell. He used masterful siegecraft, powerful trebuchets, and cunning psychological warfare. He took Arsuf, a city once captured by Richard the Lionheart. He captured Safad, a major Templar stronghold. His greatest prize was the mighty fortress of Crac des Chevaliers, a castle considered utterly impregnable. After a short but intense siege, the Hospitaller Knights surrendered. Baybars was systematically erasing the Crusader presence from the Middle East. He didn't just conquer, he built. Under his rule, the Mamluk Sultanate flourished. He rebuilt the infrastructure devastated by the Mongol invasions. He established a fast and efficient postal service, the Barid, which also served as an effective intelligence network. He built bridges, canals, mosques, and schools. He was a patron of the arts and sciences, and Cairo became a beacon of culture and learning. a refuge for scholars fleeing the Mongol destruction. He resurrected the Abbasid Caliphate in Cairo, not as a political power, but as a symbol of Islamic unity under his protection, a masterstroke of political legitimacy. Baybars was a complex figure. To his enemies, he was ruthless and terrifying. To his people, he was a just ruler, a protector of the faith, and the savior of their civilization. He was the uniter of Egypt and Syria, forging a powerful empire that would dominate the region for centuries. He ruled for 17 years of constant warfare, political maneuvering, and nation-building. His end, like his beginning, is shrouded in some mystery. He died in Damascus, possibly from a poisoned cup intended for another. The Lion of Egypt, the Panther, the man who rose from slave to sultan, was gone. But his legacy was etched into the very stones of the Middle East. He was the true founder of the Mamluk Empire, the man who defeated both the Mongols and the Crusaders, and who left behind an empire that stood as a testament to his incredible will and genius. His story is a powerful reminder that destiny is not always written by birth or status, but forged in the fire of ambition, courage, and an unbreakable spirit. From the chains of a slave to the throne of a sultan, the life of Baybars remains one of history's most epic tales of triumph. Thanks for watching. If you were inspired by the incredible story of Sultan Baybars, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more epic tales from history. See you next time.